Hey y'all, so I have talked a lot about suckering my tomatoes and the fact that you can take those suckers and root it. I've already done a video on pruning and suckering tomatoes. It's a little bright out here. So I will link that and you can go back and see exactly how I prune and tie up and sucker my tomatoes. But I wanted to explain a little bit more what a sucker is and how you can root them and make new tomato plants out of them. So if you come right here and see, there is the main stem of the tomato that goes up, and then just the main stem, which we prune to one main stem usually, or sometimes two because they get crazy. And then this is the branch with all the leaves. And coming out of here in the little armpit of the plant, if you will, is another stem starting to come out. This is a sucker. You don't want to take the leafy branch and root it because it's just the leafy branch. The stem is where the life of a new tomato is going to be. I'm going to use a knife. Sometimes I just break them off, but it's really better for the plant if you cut them. So I'm just going to cut that right off. And you can see this. And I will, I actually have multiple suckers in the house in jars in lots of stages. So I will take you, and I actually might bring them outside because it's better lighting out here for you. But anyway, I will show you those and the multiple stages of how to sucker them. But basically, I'm going to take this and stick it in a jar of water. Note when you're, I don't know if it really matters as much with suckers, but when you're watering your plants or starting seeds, I found out that if I used softened water or water that had been through any kind of system, it removes a lot of the minerals and everything in the water. So your plants actually end up not getting, they over drink because they're not getting any of the nutrients out of the water. It's really weird. Did that when we were in Florida. We used softened water and really messed up a bunch of seedlings. And anyway, so when I do root these, I'm not sure if it matters with these or not because they're putting out roots. I guess it does. So we went ahead and used just water out of the spigots outside that are not running through any kind of softening system. Emma had a giant green vernissage.
Yes.
That had this extra stem, so she decided to go ahead and pull it off and
I'm going
show
to
me,
root
Anna.
it. It's got these little bumpy things on it where the roots are about to come out.
Yeah.
We rooted some in the house and they got that, and then the roots came out of it.
Yep. So she's gonna root that. It has a sucker that's big enough to be rooted right there on it. So Emma's gonna go ahead and root this one so she can plant it somewhere. We're running out of space. This one was growing out of the
Green vernissage.
green vernissage in the ground, so they pulled it out and it actually could be rooted. Something I wanted to point out was that you can root these in jars and they will do fine. I have also taken roots and suckers and stuck them straight in the ground in really good soil and watered them, and that's not like 100% success rate, but if you're not real worried about 100% success, you can do that and just stick them in the ground and see if they work. If you want them to definitely grow roots and work, you need to root them in a jar. All right, so some of the reasons you might want to root tomatoes is because, well, the obvious reason is you can never have too many tomato plants, in my opinion. No, but really, you might have not been able to start seeds, and so you had to buy plants, and if you had to buy plants, this is a way to multiply your investment. You can sucker them and root them, and then you have more of whatever variety that you bought. You may also have started plants or only had a few seeds of a variety, or only if you germinated out of whatever variety you had, your favorite. So you can sucker those and root them and have more of the varieties that you love. That's a couple of reasons. Another wonderful reason is as your plants are getting bigger like these and maturing, they're going to start producing, and depending on where you live, you might have your plants might start dying out. You might get a blight, you might get a fungus. So if you have been rooting suckers and you have baby plants, if you have baby plants as well as older plants, you know, as your older plants age out and finish producing, I mean, tomatoes that are indeterminate will continue producing, but you know, they produce less as they get older, and they also, like I said, they can get a blight or fungus or something and die out. So as your older plants are fading, you can be bringing in new younger plants throughout your entire growing season. So those are just some of the benefits of why we sucker and root them, and the number one reason is because we're crazy tomato ladies and we can't help ourselves. I have my jar of water here, and you just literally stick it in the jar. Super simple, and I just want to show you these that we've already done. They really are looking a little rough. They need to be in the ground, but this is what they'll start looking like. Can you see that? It'll just start to put out roots, and then this one is really ready to get in the ground. It has And we'll take this bottom stem off, our little branch off right here, and just plant it all the way up to this branch. And it will just take off. It doesn't take long. We probably really could have already planted those, but we've been really busy and haven't had time, and I'm not really sure where they're gonna go because we are running out of space. But anyway, something else I wanted to mention, you will probably want to use separate jars. It doesn't have to be jars. You can do it in like a cup or any kind of cup, just a container, whatever. You probably want to label your variety. We have not labeled them at all, so we have like massive amounts of all these suckers sticking out of jars everywhere, and we don't know what they are. But you know, sometimes surprises are fun. Anyway, that is really easy. You just sucker your plants. Oh, this one looks really rough. That's kind of sad. Anyway, you sucker your plants, stick them in water, and let them grow roots, and then you just plant them as you would a regular transplant.